Welcome back to the Boomtown Podcast. I'm Cameron Walker, broker owner of Cameron Walker Realty. This podcast is about all the explosive growth on and off the arsenal here in Huntsville. Today with me is my fabulous co-host, Megan Hines. So forget her name. So Megan Hines here. Let's give her a round of applause. So today we're going to dive into a topic that something you and I have experienced a lot over the last couple of months is we have a lot of people moving to the area. We take them around, show them different communities, and a lot of times we wind up in new construction communities. And some of the biggest draws are really the amenities within those communities. And I think when we talk summertime, we talk Alabama heat, one of the things that we have to talk about are the pools.
Absolutely.
So kind of dive into some of these communities, some of the amenities and what those pools are like.
Yeah, I just wanted to go through what my favorite pools were because I think that's a big deal for people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I have seen many a pool this summer, which I was not allowed to get into because I was working with clients. And I'm going to just tell you the ones that I thought were really great. The first one that I want to mention is there's two pools at the Village of Providence.
I knew where you're going when you said two pools.
And they're both really nice, and both of them have a completely different feel. There's one that's got sort of it's been there for the last 20 years. It's got this clubhouse with all this old wood, and it looks very regal and sort of traditional. And it's got this beautiful pool back in the backyard that faces out. The whole side of it is basically woods and the greenway.
Yeah.
And then the other one is a much more modern looking pool. It almost feels like you're in a fancy downtown hotel. And both of these are great pools. And the thing that I really liked about them was that most swimming pools in communities are basically marketing for the community. So you drive by, you see the pool, you think, oh, I want to live there. These pools, you can't see them unless you are a resident. So it's really purely for the residents, which is very cool.
For sure. I've had clients buying there in the past, definitely toured those areas. Some of the sales reps there are phenomenal with letting you in and checking these things out. But both pools are amazing. They're both junior Olympics. So they've got the lines, the lanes. So if you're doing laps or your kids are doing cannonballs, they can do everything in between. Another thing I really like about those is the real estate around them. You've got some beautiful decks around it, lots of chairs, tables, and then also a lot of like mature landscaping around it.
Yeah.
Like you were mentioning being next to some of the greenway and stuff, but there's a lot of privacy, like you said, getting back there, but not just from the cars going by, but also from the houses nearby. Like they've done a good job of making those kind of little gems within the neighborhood. You can see them if you live there, but you can't see into them. So there's even privacy there.
And how cool is it to live in a community and be able to go to a different pool?
Right.
Like I go to the pool and it's full of like screaming children. I'm like, I just go to the other one.
Absolutely. And I would bet, not living there, so I don't know, but I would bet those kind of happen organically, right? Like this group of folks that likes to grill out, or they go at, Saturday at 3:30, right? After the game or something. I bet those kind of de facto, just kind of organic groups do kind of pair up at the different pools that way.
Yeah, and I actually toured the pools over there, and the older one actually has a commercial kitchen, and I don't know if you knew that, but that was really cool to me. My background's in the restaurant business. Yeah. I cook a lot, and I was like, wow, you could do your own cooking show from here. Like,
For sure.
This is insane. It has a commercial kitchen in there, everyone, if you have something you would do with that.
Yeah, a lot of times when we say pool and clubhouse, what we really mean is cabana with two like bathrooms in it, right? But they truly do have two beautiful clubhouses, completely different vibes, as you mentioned. One of them has like a yoga room.
Yeah.
You could see the other one, the older one, like you were mentioning, you see people in there playing pool and smoking cigars or having a book club. It kind of has that cozy.
Like the picture
warmth.
of dogs smoking cigars.
Absolutely,
exactly
right?
like that.
Absolutely. And then they jump in the pool. And the other side is very modern, clean, straight lines, a lot of light coming in. So you do have two completely different vibes, but I think that plays to the point you were talking about. If you see a bunch of kids in one, you can go get in the other, or maybe you're the one with kids and you want to be in that one.
Exactly.
So,
kids
for
aren't
sure.
horrible. I have kids.
For sure. So, all right, I think we hit that one pretty hard.
Oh,
one of the ones I really enjoyed is actually, I've had a couple of clients by here recently, was in Meridianville. It's in the Whitaker Landing community. And it's the exact opposite as far as like it's more towards the front of the community. It's a little more of that, crown jewel, like you're saying. It is tucked away from some of the houses though, so it's not too terribly exposed. What I liked about it is complete opposite though. It is all sunlight. Like if you're trying to get a suntan, if you're out there trying to like mix and mingle, there's nowhere to hide.
I'm very blonde.
Yeah.
I can't enjoy that.
But it's a big pool for a neighborhood that size. It's not as big as the pools that you're going to see at places like Village of Providence, but like take my neighborhood, which is roughly the same number of homes. The pool is probably 3 times the size of ours. And then you have all the deck around it. You do have more of a gazebo style cabana as opposed to like just these 2 little small buildings. So if you're wanting to have picnics or something like that, there's a lot more space for that too. And I think for the size community, it's a really big pool.
Nice. So I'm going to take us back over to my side of town and go over to Owens Crossroads for McMullen Cove, which is, this pool has been around forever. So this isn't a new amenity, but they really nailed it when they built that pool. I believe it's junior Olympic size or Olympic size. It's big. And it is sort of a community pool. It's right. You can see it when you drive up. But it is a fun pool full of kids and families, and just in the summer it is just full of life.
Yep.
And you have mountain views. It's gorgeous and a lot of fun. So it's a different vibe than Providence. It's not like you can go find a place to relax. You are in it at that pool.
It's the party pool, right? And when I tell like my kids and my friends about like growing up where I grew up in a neighborhood pool, like that's an integral part of my youth. It was like the parties we had ordering pizzas there, the midnight swims, the kid that almost drowned playing shark, like all those stories come out of those community pools. They are a community focus.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for something like that, and that is built-in friends, that's how we met people at the pool,
great
right?
For kids. Absolutely.
Yep. So that kid that lives across the neighborhood that homeschools that you're never going to meet on the bus, it's like, well, you meet them at the pool now, right? Now you got somebody to ride your bike with, the parents meet up. And my in-laws always told me once you have kids, that becomes your friend group is the parents of your kids' friends. They were prophetic in that. So that's who most of our friends are these days. And in our neighborhood, we meet those people at the pool. That's where we connect and we find out, hey, we really like this or we really like that. Next thing you know, we're going out the grills, ordering pizza, hanging out until like the pool closes. So for sure, like we like to shut it down. And I think McMullen's very much a pool like that.
Yeah. And that development is one of the original concept developments in this area. And you've seen a lot of developments mimicking that.
Yeah.
But there's people I talk to who grew up there who have those memories of that specific pool.
For sure.
So it's a big thing and a lot of people know about it.
Absolutely. We think about those things that you can hand down to the generations. Sometimes it is those experiences and that history, right? So that's a really cool feature of that one. All right, so I want to jump to another one that I visited, and this is a really neat little community. I helped some people buy in earlier this summer, and it's up north of town. It's really in New Market, and it's right where New Market and Huntsville start to overlap, and it's Grand Hollow. And another place with a pool that's bigger than the community would warrant. And I'm going to cheat a little bit on this one. It had some really cute amenities to go along with it. So you have the pool, you have the big deck space, you have some covered space. You do have a true clubhouse there where you could host events. It doesn't have a full kitchen, but there is a fridge, a sink, things like that. There's grills out there. It has a beautiful courtyard right next to the pool. And it's gravel and there's lights strung through it. It's like being out on your own patio, and there's fire pits and Adirondack chairs, and it's deep. It's not just like 2 of these things. You could have multiple groups out there really enjoying their time. And then right next to that, you actually have pickleball courts, brand new, brand spanking new, like clean lines in there. I think it was 4 or 5 different courts. You have a dog run next to that. You have a huge playground. And then across the community, you actually have like a wiffle ball field. And t-ball field. So it was really cool to see all this stuff together. But I do think the crown jewel, even amongst that, is the pool. Yeah. For me, I would be taking advantage of the pool and the courtyard right next door. I think those would be the 2 that my family would just absolutely love, because you can kind of take the party over to the courtyard or from the courtyard to the pool, and literally you just pass them through the gate to go from one to the other.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I want to go to that pool right now.
And where they're located, it's old farmland that was
Yeah.
converted, right? So it's flat. There's no mature trees or whatever, but it is tucked in the very back part of that. So it still feels private. Now, they will build closer to it as time goes on, but just given the location within the community, it's always going to be its own little pocket in there. So while there's not a lot of mature trees, there's not a lot of privacy in that standpoint, there's not going to be anybody over there other than people going to use these amenities.
That sounds like an amazing pool.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. When I was out there, I got a little video of it recently. Couldn't even get all of it because everybody there was so cool. They saw me getting video and they're like, "Hey, we'll move over to this end so you can get as much as possible." Because obviously I didn't want to get people in the shot. But yeah, it was really cool. It was an awesome little community there, and I know my people about there are absolutely loving it. They got in right in time to use the pool, so they're thrilled with it.
Yeah. So another pool that I visited that I really liked, also in Owens Crossroads, is the pool at the Meadows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that one so there's multiple builders out there, and it's a gorgeous community. It's a little farther away from downtown, but just a little than a lot of the places in Owens Crossroads. But you go basically back. You feel like you're going down this little road, and all of a sudden this community opens up, and it's surrounded by mountains, and it feels like you're just like in the mountains in this gorgeous valley, and it's beautiful. Like, they chose an amazing piece of land, and the pool is actually like sort of right in the center of the community.
Yeah.
And it is pretty forward facing, like you can see it, but it has this very mellow vibe, and it's very sunlit and pretty, and you kind of feel like you're on vacation because you've got mountains all around. The houses are sort of set back away from it. So it just looks, it's very inviting when you come up to it. There's even like a little free library out in front. So you can grab a book. So it has like a little bit of a homey community feel, but it also does very much feel like a vacation pool somewhere in the mountains to me.
For sure. And I know exactly what you mean. And actually, for anybody watching, there's a video on my channel of the Meadows, right?
Yeah.
I've had several clients in there, and I know you have as well. And you're right about when you come into that area. It's like a movie where like the helicopter comes in and you go in the valley and everything opens up. That's exactly what it feels like driving in there. And actually the start of my video is that for that reason, so that it opens up and you just have these mountains part. And then there's the amenities in the middle. There's a creek going by that leads into a pond. All of that you can see from the pool. You have the mountain view on either side. And I was actually out in Colorado this summer, and I was in a pool in Colorado at the place we were staying, and it made me think of the Meadows. So it's so funny you mentioned that. This was not pre-planned, but that's what it feels like, is when you're staying at an Airbnb with a pool and there's mountains in the
It
background.
has a distinctively different vibe than a lot of the pools around here. That's for sure.
And I think your point about them building on the outskirts of like the edges of the streets and backing away from it is exactly what it is. It has a little bit of that mountain chateau, Airbnb kind of vibe to it. And beautiful homes there too, by the way. And but yeah, so it's just got stunning vistas, whether you're looking at the houses, the mountains, the creek, the pond, whatever it is, it's just gorgeous over there.
They did a nice job for sure.
It was really well planned. And it's so funny because you're right, it's front and center. You drive into that community, there's a roundabout there, there's one side of the neighborhood, and the pool in the middle, and you would think that would be a turnoff. Yeah, it still feels very private. Now, the cabana side of it is what faces the roads. I think that helps. But just the topography there on the back end, you're looking at all that beautiful scape out there.
It's because it's a serene space, the entire development.
It is.
And that's why I think it's just something about that piece of land.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Well, if you're moving here in the summer and you get outdoors, we just came through a blistering July.
Yeah.
And so we wore our pool out this year. So I know a lot of people are doing the same. And so it's one of those things, if you're moving to Alabama, I think weighing whether or not your house or your neighborhood has a pool or you want to join one that's a public pool, I think those are all worthy options to consider.
Yeah. And something else to consider is, these pools you're going to get with an HOA, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't want to be in an HOA, what you're going to be doing is probably joining a community pool.
Sure.
And there are different ones throughout Huntsville. I don't feel like there are as many in Madison, as many community pools to join. I'm sure there are a few.
Actually, I've got a blog I wrote on this a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
Tell.
So I did go in and I kind of ranked them really
Yeah.
in between Huntsville and Madison.
Yeah.
And what I looked at was the number of Google reviews and then how many stars, right?
Uh-huh.
And kind of stack ranked them that way. Madison does have a couple of great pools, one of which, like I would say, is the Dublin Community Pool. There's actually an indoor and outdoor pool
I've been
there.
to that one. It's
My
nice. They
kids
do swim
absolutely love it.
competitions.
Yep. So they do swim competitions. They do swim lessons there. So we've spent a lot of time there. And then you have a beautiful park around it. It's fishing. There's little league sports. There's all kinds of stuff there. So really enjoy that. And then I would also say the YMCA in that area is really great. There's 2 pools in there. Again, they do swim lessons, there's slides, and then there's more of like a kiddie pool. And we've done birthdays there. And that one's a lot of fun, especially I'd say, that early elementary school and younger kids really love that pool.
Yeah. And now Huntsville has a few that are really nice. The one that springs to mind right now is the Montesano pool, which you have to be grandfathered in or, kill someone. But
So make sure that's not your
no,
grandfather.
you're not allowed to. Yeah, don't. Yeah. Anyways, don't kill anyone. But it's tricky to get in. You have to. You have to buy a pass from someone who already has a pass. Now, this is insanely gorgeous pool.
Yeah.
On top of Montesano, it's got a view. Talk about feeling like you're in a mountain chalet. That's
sure.
amazing. But you definitely have to. It's tricky to get to join for sure.
And it didn't make my ranks for that reason. So I was really looking at things that anybody could walk in off the street and use, even if they had to pay to get in, but there wasn't a barrier to entry beyond the money part of it, right? Where you had to wait for somebody to die, as you say. So, but there are several pools like that where there is a membership process to get in. Some of them are part of golf courses, but some of them are part of neighborhoods or communities, or just the way they're named and located, it feels that way. Something else I would say is unique to the Huntsville pools, and I think this plays into the Huntsville High swim team, is there's a lot of competitive swimming over there. Unbeknownst to a lot of people and myself, when I was moving here, Huntsville is like the swim capital of Alabama.
We are swimming
super competitive.
In the United States, we produce a lot of competitive swimmers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know I had some clients moving here a couple of years ago, and their daughter was a high school swimmer, really competitive. And that was one of the things that was really important to them. And in doing that research, I realized how many state championships Huntsville High has. Like basically nobody else has any because Huntsville High has them all.
Yeah.
And then you look at just like any other sport, be it football, baseball, softball, whatever, there's a feeder league that goes into that. And that's these kind of community level swim teams. And I was completely oblivious to that until I started doing research for my client.
No, it's true. My daughter joined the YMCA swim team when she was like 8 years old here. And that was like a very inexpensive, easy thing that's accessible in South Huntsville. And she was learning, every stroke and how to be a competitive swimmer. And that is not something you get everywhere, for sure.
No, I mean, even, and I'm just going to say it, even over in Madison, right, where I live, I'm sure there's some competitive swimming and all that. Mm-hmm. But by and large, we're thinking family pool over here. Cannonballs, grilling out, ordering pizza, don't run around the outside kind of stuff. And everybody with their floaties and, whatever.
I swim.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But yeah, I do think that's something really unique to Huntsville and those pools there is that competitive nature and swim teams.
Yes. Well, I think that if you are into swimming, Huntsville is a great place for you to move to.
Absolutely. That's something else too. A lot of parts of the country, you don't have a long enough swim season to make it worthwhile. Our pool routinely opens up mid to late May. I will say it's a little chilly for me, but my kids love it. They don't care if they have blue lips. But there's been years our pool's been open into October. So, and still be warm. So, we do have a long swim season for outdoor pools.
That's something to ask when you're moving into community. If the pool is a big feature for you, like when do you close it? When do you open it? So you know that you are getting what you want out of that pool, if that's why you're moving there.
Yeah, and we talk about like those HOAs, right, to join in a community. That really drives that. In my neighborhood, we're pretty chill, right? We open the pool when it's comfortable, we close it when it's not comfortable. Versus there are neighborhoods where this is the day we open the pool, this is the day it closed. We don't care what happens before or after. This is the date range every year.
Yeah.
So that is something like you said when you come in and ask about it. You also need to ask about the cost. If you're just there for the pool, but you're paying for a lot of other things, well, it may not be the best community. It's particularly if like the monthly or annual fee is a concern for you. So you may want to look for something that has a more reasonable price for the amount of amenities you're going to use.
Yep. And if you are moving here with a pool in mind, let your real estate agent know, because they can do that research for you. You don't have to do that yourself.
Yeah. Last thing I'll put on that part of it is we're all subject to what the listing agent puts in the listing stuff. So when you're looking on Zillow or our website or anywhere else, there are going to be homes with either pools in their own backyard or in that community that you're going to miss because you're moving here from somewhere else and you don't know that that community has one, and the listing agent didn't do a good job of putting it in. That's where our local expertise comes in, because we know which communities have the pools and which ones, what the fees are and all that.
Absolutely. And if we don't know, we'll find out.
Absolutely. That's another good thing too. All right. Well, thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for watching or listening. You can always catch us on audio on wherever you get your podcast, be Spotify, Apple, or you can watch our video on YouTube. Really appreciate you guys being here. Ask that you subscribe so we can keep you informed of everything going on here in Huntsville.